Good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody's well and happy and just full of joy. So today we're going to make my favorite pasta. And the reason I want to share this with you today is because I know the whole country has been into some kind of Arctic freeze. And it's been very cold where I am too. We had 56 hours of below freezing temperatures. So that's a lot. So today we're going to make a very comforting soup called pasta fagioli. I don't know if everybody knows what it is, but let me tell you, it's delicious. So that's what we're going to do today. First off, you start with a pound of ground beef. I personally use organic ground beef just because I want to make sure that the animal is not fed any animal byproducts. So we have a pound of ground beef. We have a tablespoon of olive oil, which I'm going to put it in the pan to brown the vegetables. We have one whole onion chopped very fine. I just popped it in the food processor and let them chop it up. I have 2/3 cup of celery chopped very fine, 1 cup of chopped carrot, 2 cloves of garlic chopped very fine, 1 15-ounce can of cannellini beans, 1 14.5-ounce can of chicken stock. I use low sodium because it's better for us. Then I have a 1-pound box of ditalini pasta, and I have a 64-ounce of vegetable juice. This is like a cocktail. It's V8 because V8 is the best to me. And then I have a teaspoon of black pepper, which we're going to add sparingly. You know, we're going to add it to taste. I have a tablespoon of parsley. I have a tablespoon of basil, and I have a teaspoon of oregano, and that's it. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this pound of ground beef. We're going to heat up the oil that's in the skillet, and then we're going to brown it. And once we brown it, we're going to take it out and drain it on paper towels in a plate because you don't want that fat because you're going to throw it off. So let me get this on, and then we'll take a look when I'm taking it out. Just a sidebar that I wanted to tell you that the ground beef that I use is organic, but it's 80-20 because you want that little fat in there to brown it. It doesn't have to be completely lean. I like to have that 80-20 because it just gives the beef a better flavor. So I'm still browning it, and in the meantime, I have 4 quarts of water in a large pot boiling because that's what we're going to boil the ditalini noodles in. So I'm going to get this done, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I've sprinkled a little salt on top of the meat, and also I'm going to get a little of this black pepper and sprinkle it on just a couple of pinches, maybe 3 pinches on the ground beef to give it a little flavor. So I'm still cooking it and stirring it, but I just want to let you know that I did sprinkle a little bit of salt and a little bit of black pepper in it, just to season the beef. Okay, so I'm going to off the heat on this fire, and I have the water boiling on a very low fire to simmer so it doesn't get cold. But I want to show you how cooked the beef is, if you could see it. I like the beef very cooked because you don't play with beef. You don't want rare beef. Beef needs to be 165 degrees internal temperature or it can make you sick. So we're going to do that. We've got that. I'm off the heat. Now I'm going to get a slotted spoon, and I'm going to transfer the beef onto paper towels, sort of absorbs the extra fat that's in it, because we don't want that fat floating around in our soup. I'm going to get it all out, put it in there. So don't want any fat floating around in my soup. We're going to put that on there. drain off on there. And I'm actually going to get a paper towel and wipe off the rest of the extra fat. Because it was 80-20, it didn't really have a whole lot of fat in it. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to take the tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to pour it in the pan. We're going to put the heat back on, like medium, probably medium. And then we're going to put the onions, the celery, the carrots in there for about 5 to 10 minutes. So let's get the oil hot enough before I pop it in there. But we're going to put it all in there and we're going to stir it up and we're going to cook this 5 to 10 minutes. So put the onion in there, spread it around. We're going to get the carrots. We got 1 whole onion, 1 cup of chopped up carrots, and then 2/3 cups of chopped up celery. I'm going to put it all in here. I'm going to stir it around and cook it for 5 to 10 minutes. You want it until it's soft. You know, it gets translucent a little bit. The onions get translucent. The vegetables get soft. So we're going to do that, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I've been simmering the carrots and celery and onions for sauteing them for about 7 minutes. I like to leave them a little chewy. I like a little texture. So now I'm going to add the garlic. This is 2 cloves of garlic chopped very fine. I'm going to add it to the celery and the onion and the carrots, and I'm going to cook this for a couple of minutes in there, just until it's flavored. You don't want to overcook garlic because garlic burns very easily. So we're going to get that in there. We're going to stir it in there. And we're going to do that for about 2 minutes. So let me get that done, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I've been cooking the garlic in here for 2 minutes. Now we're going to add the vegetable juice, and this is 64 ounces. I don't know, I'm probably use 2/3 of the jar because I like juicy soup. If it's going to be soup, I like juicy soup. So let's pour this in here. So yeah, that's about 2/3 of the 64 ounces. And I don't know, I might decide later to add some more. I'm going to put the whole can of chicken broth in here. And remember, it's low sodium. You don't need all that salt. And now I'm going to put the tablespoon of parsley, the tablespoon of basil, and the teaspoon of oregano. I'm going to dump all that in there. We're going to stir it up. And then, I don't know, I'm going to put a couple of pinches of the black pepper in here, but you never know. You don't want to make it too black peppery. So that's 1 pinch, 2 pinches, maybe 3 pinches. Okay. And if we need to add more later, we will. So we're going to stir it up, and we're going to let it simmer for 20 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to cook the ditalini pasta. And if you've never seen ditalini pasta, this is what it looks like. It's little round, little pasta pieces, just like that. Very tiny, very good. I like it a lot. So I'm going to up the heat on the water so I can get the bubbling again, and I can cook the ditalini. The ditalini doesn't take that long to cook. It only takes about 10 minutes. But we're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes because we want all these flavors to merge. And once that's done, we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for 20 minutes. I have the ditalini pasta cooking. It has to boil for 8 minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to take the lid off the soup. I'm going to add the cannellini beans to the soup mixture. Just gonna put those right in there, like so. I'm gonna stir it up. And we're going to take the ground beef that I put on the paper towel to drain, and we're going to get it in there. Making sure not to get the paper towel in there. So we're just going to sweep it on in there because the paper towels absorbed all the excess fat that was on the ground beef. So take a look at that. All that is absorbed, all that grease. So now we're going to stir this all up together. And we're going to simmer it 10 more minutes. In the meantime, we're going to finish cooking the cannellini beans, and then I'm going to the cannellini pasta. No, I'm sorry. I put the cannellini beans in the soup. I'm going to finish cooking the ditalini pasta. I don't know why I'm saying cannellini. This is the ditalini pasta. Remember, I said I'm going to cook it 8 minutes, and then I'm going to drain it and set it to the side. Because you do not put it in the soup because the pasta will get too soggy. So I'm gonna finish cooking it for 8 minutes, and then I'm gonna drain it, and then I'm gonna put it to the side in a bowl. So let me finish this up, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, so I've drained the ditalini pasta, and this is what it looks like. And now I'm just waiting on the soup to finish simmering. But while I'm talking to you now, I want to let you know that you don't mix the ditalini pasta in the soup. You put it to the side and you add it to the bowl, and then you add the soup. Because if you add it to the soup, it gets too mushy. So if you want to save it for leftovers, you put the ditalini pasta in one container and you put the soup in another container, and you just heat it up and add it to the soup. And while I have you and we're waiting on this, I just want to let you know to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page, Kathy's Creole Kitchen. Make sure you tell me what you think about the videos. You can like them, or you can give me pointers, or you can say what you didn't like about them. I'm open to suggestions, but I just want to know that you're watching and that you like them. So please subscribe to my YouTube page, Kathy's Creole Kitchen, because every week we do a different recipe. It might not be new to you, but it's new to somebody. So I have my take on how I make things, and other people have their takes. And I hope you enjoy my take on how I make things. So I think the soup is ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a large spoon, and I am going to add the amount of pasta that I like. My family likes a lot of pasta, and so do I. I like the texture of the pasta in the soup. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm doing like 3 spoons, maybe 4. So we're gonna put that there. And now I'm gonna off the heat on the soup. And I'm going to scoop some in the bowl. It smells so delicious. This is one of those days we need smell-o-vision because it is simply divine. It is so yummy smelling. I'm sure it's yummy tasting. So this is the ratio that I like. I like lots of juice, soup, and I like lots of pasta. It's great to me. So that's what's going on. Take a look at it. Look at how delicious that looks. It's so hot now. We're gonna set this to the side because it has to be stored separate from the soup, remember. Take a look at this. Doesn't it look delicious? It's beautiful, beautiful bowl of soup. This is a main dish. You can serve something else with it, but it's really very hearty and very tasty and very tasty and very satisfying. So let's take a taste. Gotta cool it off because it's pretty hot. It's so delicious because you have all these different textures in here. You have the carrots, you have the beans, you have the pasta, you have the beef. It's a wonderful, wonderful dish. I hope you make it for your family or make it for yourself because you can portion it and freeze it in single serving portions. You don't have to make a lot of pasta at once. You can make a single serving of pasta, one at a little at a time, so you can have single servings of the pasta fagioli. Thank you so much for watching Kathy's Creole Kitchen. Please join me next week for another episode and a new recipe. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I forgot to recap the ingredients for you guys. I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to go ahead and give them to you now so that we won't have any confusion on what you need. So you're going to need 1 pound of lean ground beef. Like I told you, I use the organic 80/20. 1 tablespoon olive oil. 1 large onion chopped very fine. 2/3 cups of celery chopped very fine. 1 cup of carrots chopped very fine. 2 cloves of garlic chopped very fine. I used probably about 48 ounces of V8 tomato juice. I used a 14.5 ounce can of chicken broth. I used the low sodium because nobody needs all that salt. 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. 1 tablespoon dried basil. 1 teaspoon of oregano. I used freshly ground black pepper to taste. You can see this. I started off with a teaspoon. I didn't use a whole teaspoon. And I used a 16-ounce box of ditalini pasta and a 15.5-ounce can of cannellini beans. So if you follow the instructions on the video, it'll turn out great because I just ate that big bowl that I prepared because it was just smelling so good. I had to eat it. That's why I had to come back and give you the recap. So thanks once again for watching. I'll see you next week. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.